How do you stay driven? I'm gonna ask you a question. How don't you stay driven? If you're so ambitious, show me. Want to be an anomaly? You have to act like one. I don't give a fuck about tomorrow. I care about 36 months from now, 52 months from now, 83 months from now. What did you do from Friday 5 p.m. until Monday 7 a.m.? I'm just curious. And I don't think you shouldn't have a weekend, but I think everybody's ambition actually is more predicated on their actions than their words. My friends tell me all the time they're so ambitious. And I'm like, if that's true, then you punt leisure and you punt concerts at Jones Beach and you work. You can't believe how many people, you know how many fucking people used to say the word luck? That word luck has gone right back. Like, nobody has the audacity to say that to my face now, and I love it. And that's why I did it. I made it for you because you can watch it and be like, okay. But I think yours is different. I think a lot of theirs is different. It's because I'm not fancy about it. Document over create. I'm super not interested in being fancy. I'm willing to work. I work harder than everybody in this room, and I swear on my fucking life, I'm positive. Because you can only tie me. And so I'm just not fancy. Like, I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna continue to win, and I'm gonna be real fucking big. And I'm never gonna forget what I'm about, and I like getting my hands dirty, and I'll answer that email, and I'll stop and have that conversation, and I'll take that pitch, and I do unscalable, not the right use of my time shit, 50% of my day, every day, for the rest of my life, because I love the fucking dirt. I love the grind. I'll never get fancy. I don't like fancy, and so that's important to me.
Second you think you've won, somebody's gonna creep. It's so real. That, you know, a lot of these cliches and stereotypes, they're real.
There is no loss in going for it. That, yeah, you might get made fun of, and you might have it in your own mind, but I punted every leisure activity in my life. Nothing. No weekends. No vacations. Zero. Nothing. Nothing. It's my truth. I didn't take a single vacation day. Never. None. Zero. 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 All my high school friends, gone. Because I wasn't around. All my college friends, post-college, gone. Girlfriends, nothing. All in. So what did I do? I worked. I worked to such an extreme level. I'm going for it. I'm hustling from 6 to 11 p.m. every day with every second allocated. There is no break. There's no eat a salad and read Reddit or watch YouTube. That is not in my game. Getting your hands dirty under your fingernails, it's the game. The young are the future. And if you notice trends like, oh, they don't use email, you can learn from them, or they're watching a lot of YouTube. So the two biggest things are stop being soft and start actually working and getting your hands dirty in the thing that you love. And number two, pay attention to trends around your friends. People aren't starting. They're just not making. They're thinking, they're pondering, they're strategizing, they're debating. I'm just doing it all times. I actually would tell you, I fascinate sometimes over losing everything. And then having you guys write articles like, see, he wasn't that good, he was so full of shit, and then rising like a phoenix and being like, fuck you. Because you need to be a practitioner to be good at what you do. I don't want to be a social media guru that reads a headline from somebody else's tweet. I know every fucking thing that Musical.ly, Snapchat, Vine, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram does. Period. And I sit with all these gurus that sell fucking books too, and all these fucking social media experts and corporations and startups. I sit with fucking Facebook and Instagram in meetings where their executives are wrong. Like, I'm a fucking practitioner. I really know my shit. And that's important. If you want to win, you have to be able to do that. And way too many people lose that. They forget what gets them there, and they're not keeping up with it. And the thing that I do for a living is hard, because these platforms are changing every day, every second, and a lot of things change. And the things that were tried and true a week ago change. And in that arbitrage, in your headline reading, I make money. If you're complaining, like, look, if you're happy and you've got student loans and you've got mortgages and you work 2 jobs, but you're happy, good. The problem is there's so many millions of people just sitting around complaining, and then they go play Madden for 4 hours. You have to deal with the reality of the situation. Dwelling and pondering and crying doesn't do shit, and it especially doesn't do shit in this echo chamber. In this arena, there is no crying. You can cry, you're just gonna lose. And I have bad news about complaining and crying. Let me tell you something about complaining and crying that's really, really gonna hurt for all you complainers out there. Nobody gives a shit. And let me give you a preview who gives a shit. The following people give a shit when you complain. The other losers around you, your sick, broken parent that secretly wants to hold you down so that you're not more successful than them. And let me remind you one more time, the other fucking losers around you. Right, Angela? Like, seriously, like, please check yourself. Like, pay attention. Like, take a snapshot of your life when you're actually complaining. When you're complaining, you're usually doing dumb at that moment. I'm not saying that everybody who's listening is going to go make a Billy or go be Zucks or go be Travis. What I am saying is it practical, real practical, to make an extra 5, 10, 50, 80K now? It is. How? Put in the work, watch YouTube videos, learn how to do it, try, test. I did 18 months of my YouTube show and nobody gave it. Nobody. And then it broke through, but I did it every day because I believed in it. And so the first thing they have to do, DJ, is they have to take a step back. What am I best at? Am I funny? Good looking? Am I clever? You know, do I know a lot about horse racing? Like, what do I know? Like, what do I got? And then they got to start telling the world. That's what I'm saying. You get one life. You've got real, like, this is America. Hey, listen, in the beginning, and I mean this, by the way, in the beginning, hey, in the beginning, when you don't have anything, you know, like, you gotta work. You had a packed day, 15-hour day. It got canceled. What are you doing in that 15 minutes? And by the way, sometimes those 15 minutes are absolutely worth calling your mom, calling your daughter, FaceTime with your kids. But it's just making every minute count. Every minute has to count. Every minute has to count if you want so much, because you just don't have as many of them as you think. You just don't. For those that have gone through this video, I would really love a detailed comment on the #1 takeaway from this video. There's something here that I really want to continue to expand on that I think is going to really bring value and help people that are in a rut really win. So please, in-depth comment on the one thing that you really took away from this video. If I was 6'4" and ran like a gazelle, I'd play for the Jets instead of owning them. I really need everybody to have that one sink in, because it's the most important one. You know, like when you're driving and the cop lights go on and that your fucking heart goes, but then when the cop drives by, you're like, oof, you feel real good, and then you start driving with 2 hands and the speed limit for about 4 minutes, and then you get back to being like ridiculous. That's how people are living their lives. Right? Like grandma gets sick, or mom has a cancer scare, or they get sick or something, and then they start caring about real shit. Nobody's giving a fuck about a Supreme backpack when your health isn't going anywhere. And so I just don't understand why people are living their lives like that. And so fucking gratitude. We've got the whole game misframed. Everybody's confused. People talking about millions as like, I gotta make $1 million as like an entry point. And they don't even understand that 99% of people in America don't make $400,000 a year. Nobody is putting on marathon sneakers. Everybody wants to be a sprinter. Everybody wants it tomorrow. A lot of people taking money and instead of investing it back into their business, buying dumb shit. And that's why I fucking put scrutiny on everybody who's trying to do, you know, courses and pre-rolls, trying to get you to pay $4,000 for this and $10,000 for that and all this. Like, this shit is simple. All the information is free. There's a lot of people who'd much rather pay somebody to make them feel good about why they're not doing. Let me give you the secret once and for all right here. Work. A lot. Everybody looks at the people that made it, and none of you looked at how they got there. Talk your truth. Create a framework that you can fucking follow. Talk your reality. Think about your fucking grandparents. They didn't have no internet. They had to work the job and go to sleep. The fact that you can work your 9 to 5 to pay off your debt or pay your rent or take care of what you have to, and then you can take on your phone and fucking work from 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning, that's a fucking blessing. That's a fucking opportunity. And nobody can stop you and nobody decides but us. It's fucking crazy. Do you have the humility to put in the fucking work? Period. Because the only people listening to your excuses or your bullshit are your loser fucking friends. My friends, let's just get to the punchline. Nobody gives a fuck about your problems. People sit in little circles with 4 people, everybody gassing each other up to not do shit. People complaining downstairs wearing $213 shoes. Shut the fuck up. Like, get perspective. What the fuck do you think is going on in the world? Everybody's pointing at everybody else without understanding. Nobody's deploying empathy. Here's what you don't get. You fucking lack patience. Too many of you talk about being it, but you're not living it. You know why you guys aren't patient? Because you want to win already to fucking stick it to your fucking parents. I'm trying to become your excuse, your shield, your thing that you can point to. Because if you trip and fall, you guys are worried about failing. And I'm trying to get you to point at me and blame me that it didn't work versus blaming yourself so that it gives you the courage to actually start doing shit. But you've got to understand, instead of sitting here and dwelling and blaming them, you're in control of your own shit. You got one fucking at bat. Do something with it. Listen, some of you have been consuming this for a year or two. You watch those videos on Instagram or YouTube, or watch my vlog or this and that. You listen to podcasts, you get hyped. You get hyped and you're like, right. And then you stop listening and you walk out into your real life and you go back to dumb shit. You know how many people sitting here still dwelling about some dumb shit that happened in 2011? It's binary. This whole thing, your fucking life is binary. Let me tell you what you should focus on. You need to do some shit you like. If I could ever convince all of you that your shortcomings and your detriments are your strengths, you would win. You guys want to be selfless and be good and give back? Be selfish first and get your shit to the place where you need to be. The current state of political correctness and how you should parent, how you should live, what age you should get married at, like, that's all bullshit. Like, there's only one story, like yours. I'm not scared of losing because I don't allow any of you to judge me. Guys, you're only scared to lose because you're worried about what other people are gonna say.
Just enough. Fucking enough. Enough. Like, living by somebody else's rules is a humongous mistake. I've just literally sat down with 5 people under the age of 27, and it's so fucking refreshing. It is so refreshing. If you have not jumped on the bandwagon of doing exactly what the fuck you want to do, which is skiing for the next 3 years or working at a job that's not what your parents want or what society wants, this video is just called enough. Enough. Make this little fucking 1-2 minute video, depends on when I finish, the piece of content that gets you to fucking stand up and take life by its throat. Do something. Stop being fucking scared. Stop letting the way you were raised, the fear as an offense, take that away. Let me be the person. I'll take the blame. I loved that some of my employees are like, my parents don't love what you're saying. Good fucking parents, because if you are playing defense and if you are living a life where your kids' lives are the way you're being fulfilled, you're a fucking loser, parents. And so enough parents imposing their way. You want your kids to be happy on your terms. Enough the kid that's sitting right now at a desk and saw this in a feed and you hate your fucking job. Fucking enough. Stand up, get the fuck out of here and do you. Live your life. You got one fucking life. Do something about it. Like, do you understand there's genocide going on right now. Like, what do you think's going on? Like, we lack perspective. Your conference got fucked up? Boo-hoo. I lost a client? Boo-hoo. There's people fucking dying out there. Like, so when Americans or Europeans talk to me about race or gender, I'm sad. It's their real life. But I remind them because it's a positive thing. Cool, but let me tell you about the person that's ranked 7 billion in the world. They fucking have it bad. We got listen, you know I got hot on this about a year ago, the 400 trillion to 1. It's impossible to be a human being. You won. $400 trillion to 1. When you understand that math, how can't you live your life? That's how rare it is to be a human being. You've been given this ridiculous triple miracle. You've got one at bat. Please do something about it. We are living through the greatest era to be alive ever. Yes, there's stuff. I got news for you. There's always stuff. But when you take control of your at bat, when you put it all on yourself, when it's your fault and your wins, when you own it, that's when it starts happening. So please squeeze the shit out of your one life. It's impossible to be a human being. You won. I don't know how to get upset after that. I keep shit in perspective. You know why I'm always happy? I blame myself. When you blame yourself for real, you're gonna always be happy. Because you don't feel like somebody else controls you. This is the reason I'm happy 24/7, 365 for the rest of my life. 400 trillion to 1. The odds of becoming a human being. It's about eliminating being at the mercy of anything or anyone. Like, I just don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. You gotta start with yourself, because when you're actually allowing other people to get in, you're vulnerable. On me, on me, on me. My fault. There's nothing you can say. My big thing is, don't complain. You're in control. So many people are keyboard activists, right? Everybody's good at sending a tweet about how the world should be, and nobody's doing anything about it, and that is just very much human nature. If you're complaining, do something about it. I don't know if anybody knows, but slavery's been gone for a while. Your boss might be the biggest jerk of all time, but guess what? You can go get another job. Right now, wrap your head around this ridiculous gift that you were given. It's called life. You're using your fucking eyes to watch this and your ears to listen. Go step out and do your thing. The one thing you've always wanted to do, or the 10, 50, 100 things you've always tried to do. Because the only thing that's keeping you back is the other people that are judging you, and who gives a fuck about them? What's interesting about fear and excuses is if you reverse engineer them backward to the seed of where it's coming from, it means that a stunning majority of the people in this audience are actually tied up in caring about somebody else's point of view on them. And I'm really fascinated by that. Fear's holding you back. You know what you want to do. The only reason you're not doing it is because you're scared of doing what you actually want to do. So what are you scared of, failing?
Not failing, but still being at the same place when my friends are at the next level.
Huge mistake. You don't want the same thing your friends want. So why do you care what they have? Number one mistake so many people make is they care about what other people have. I don't care what anybody has. If I have more, if I have less, doesn't matter. I worry about myself. The fact that you're worrying about other people's accomplishments is already a losing formula. You need to get rid of that first, then you can focus on yourself. I would argue that well more than 50% of the people in this audience are here today because they worry about the way they would be judged by one and/or two family members in their inner 7, 8 people circle. If you're not feeling it, find new friends. I'm being dead serious about this. This one is real big for me. Who you hang out with is a huge deal. And again, these are all tried and true things, right? We've heard you're the whatever of the 5 friends you spent, like that's real. Add one new winner friend. Like, you know what I mean? Add one new winner friend and cut one loser friend. Like, yeah, I know he's been your boy since 4th grade, but he sits at home and smokes weed and plays 2K all day. Like, you can only love him so much. And to me, that is the most fascinating thing that's happening as I'm going through my journey, which is, oh, the reason I am capable and have the luxury of standing up here is that my parents parented me in a way that gave me so much self-esteem while respect. When I was 9 years old and opened the door for an elderly woman at a McDonald's, she reacted as if I won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Good mom.
What my mom did was super smart. She overreacted on everything that I was doing. That was a good human trait. My mom built huge self-esteem in me, and I feel like the biggest reason I am who I am today to everybody is because I feel so guilty and so grateful for what she did for me that I want to do it for everybody else, which is, guess what? You suck at a ton of good. So does everybody else. You're also probably pretty rad at something. Try as many things as possible until you figure out what you're rad at and you like, and go do that for the rest of your life and stop giving about everybody else. There's just an incredible, like kind of access point of like what you're great at and what you love. When you stumble into being somebody like me, you really win. When what you're naturally great at is what you naturally love the most, and away you go. And so I think what you need to do is taste everything. It's kind of like food. You don't know what your favorite food is if you only eat one food. So I would take advantage of your youth and your flexibility at this kind of age and try to taste everything, play with everything, figure out what you might be good at, what you might like, and then you make a decision. It's a very fine balance. I don't stand up here not giving a about what people think about me. It's just that I care just a little more about what I think about myself than everybody else combined. And I just think a lot of people are crippled by going on the offense because we are sold defense. We are sold defense. We just are. Offense is always the best defense. Offense always solves problems as long as your defense is not a complete disaster. So I just think offense is a very good mentality. There is a trigger mindset. I'm always trying to stay on offense.
See, I always say I hear from everybody who wins. You know, I think the fear of losing trumps the excitement of victory for so many people. I think people are so scared. Nobody wants the rejection. Nobody wants to lose. So I understand the philosophy. I understand that string of DNA that doesn't want to make you lose. But I'm so desperate to figure out how to convince people that there is no loss in going for it. That, yeah, you might get made fun of and you might have it in your own mind, but trying to figure out how to make people drop that fear of going and building a business for themselves in 2012. Trying to figure out how to make a video or give a talk or send a tweet or write a book, just something that makes people understand that executing the way it always is going to lead you to a place where you're not going to win.
Life's funny, bro. And I think that a lot of people are sitting here for another reason than those two: fear, judgment of others. And this one's I'm obsessed with if you're following me. And I just think most of you lack patience. I tell these 23-year-olds, 26-year-olds all the time to be patient because they should. How old are you?
44.
I'm 40. Do you know how young we feel? It's when you were 26, did you ever think that this is what 44 felt like?
No.
You thought that was finished.
Yeah.
Like, you think a 40-year-old, like, when I was 25 years old, I thought a 40-year-old was finished. I don't even feel like I'm starting. It's a balance of regret and patience. Like, you can go hard on for 3 years, do nothing right, wake up, and be young. You should really go to a retirement home one day and volunteer and just talk to them. It will make you want to do every minute of your life, because when you see regret in a man's eyes, it's painful because you can't do about it. When you're 90 and you're not mobile and you're tired and it's over, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't build that company you wanted. You can't spend that time with your kid. It's regret. And it drives the shit out of me. I think that patience has been the disproportionate component of my success.
So what should we do, Garyvee? Let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
what should we do? What should people do?
People should stop complaining.
Right.
People should figure out who they are.
Good call.
People should not listen to America propaganda of fixing the they suck at. They should be tripling down at what they're good at. They should be competent in certain areas, but you're not gonna become Beyonce, or, you know, like, your bone structure is a certain way. Like, you're not gonna solve everything. Your IQ can get a little bit better, but don't worry about the incremental. Figure out what puts you on fire and you're halfway decent at. If you're lucky enough right now to be listening and you're good at what you like, become tunnel vision. Because there's way too many voices telling you what and how. And here's the other thing, and this is the big one, Joe. Have the conversation with the person that's holding you back. The reason most people who are listening right now are not doing that thing is they're worried about the opinion of somebody. Usually their mother, usually their father. And the reality is that your spouse may be the person holding you back, and you have to have that conversation.
Cut them off.
We have to get to a place where you're doing you, because the number one thing that scares me is regret and you're gonna sit there at 72 and you're gonna say, I wish, I wish, I wish. And whether that's money or spend more time with your family, there's a million ways to do this. Not everybody wants to buy the jets. Not everybody wants to smoke weed on the beach in Bahamas. Like, everybody's got a different thing. Figure out what your thing is and stop making excuses. Who the president is, your mom did this, like I missed it, I had that idea for Uber. Then why didn't you do it? There's a reason that guys and gals like me continue to have audiences, because people want to be motivated to go and do things, or they want to learn tactics to go and do things. But whether I'm giving you tactical advice like filters on Snapchat or Facebook ads or Instagram story collaborations, or I'm motivating you through my words, because I communicate that way, or through my actions, seeing this wake up at 5, work with it. If everybody who's watching this actually did something about it, and then went on the course of their version of it, then they wouldn't be watching this. And I genuinely know at the bottom of my heart, out of all the people that want to build audiences, that I'm the complete opposite of almost all of them. Because 99% of people that produce content like this and are out there like I am, the business of being that is what they are. I have businesses. I have Wine Library and VaynerMedia. I don't need your $14 for my book or to be in my course or this and that. So I don't need to monetize you. So I then genuinely want you to never watch me again. The problem is, every time you guys are posting, do you know how many times I see on my Instagram, oh, I needed this today? And do you know how many times I see that person 9 months later still hanging around? If you needed it, then take it and do something about it. The reason there's gonna be 1 billion motivational views today on YouTube is that people love the feeling of being motivated. They don't like putting in the work to do something about the feeling. I hate the motivation of me until you do something about it.